was privileged to be appointed as the UK co-chair of the Indo-British Partnership, and my Indian co-chair, Dr. Irani's successor, was Narayan Murthy, who of course now is the father-in-law of the UK's Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. This Foundation Day celebration, IBSA at 25, is very, very important. In fact, the serendipity of this occasion, serendipity is a wonderful word. I was privileged to chair the Cambridge Judge Business School for 5 years until recently, and one of our star professors, Mark Durand, defines the word serendipity as seeing what everyone else sees, but thinking what no one else has thought. And the serendipity is here we are celebrating the Indo-British Scholars Association, with me speaking as a former international student from India here in the UK myself. I'm speaking to you from the House of Lords, where I'm privileged to be a member for the past 16 and a half years. I was one of the 3 youngest members of the House of Lords when I was appointed in 2006. I initially came to the UK as a 19-year-old to study from India. I qualified as a chartered accountant in London with Ernst & Young, and I graduated law from the University of Cambridge. And today, I'm the co-chair of the all-party parliamentary group on international students. And here is a serendipity that as we are celebrating IBSA's 25th anniversary, we have just had the news, hot off the press, that India now has the largest number of international students in the UK, overtaking China with 129,000 students. This is wonderful, because British universities, along with America, are the finest universities in the world. 4 out of the top 10 universities in the latest US ranking were British universities, including my alma mater, Cambridge, where I now have 2 fellowships, and including Oxford University, where I also hold 2 fellowships. In the top 100, the UK, a country with less than 1% of the world's population, has 17 universities, including the University of Birmingham, where I'm proud to be Chancellor, where I have been Chancellor for the past 8.5 years. In fact, our universities in the UK are one of the strongest elements of soft power for our country. And the bridge that is created by the Indian international students who come to the UK and return to India is a very strong bridge. It is a living bridge in the same way that Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks about the 1.6 million people of Indian origin, like myself, in the UK, who are now, I'm proud to say, reaching the very top in just about every field, including our Prime Minister. That living bridge is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks about, a living bridge of 1.6 million diaspora that India is proud of, as we are of the 30 million strong Indian diaspora around the world. I am the 3rd generation of my family on both sides to be educated in the UK. My father's father, my grandfather, was a cadet at Sandhurst in between the First and Second World Wars, before India started its own military academy. At that same time, in the late 1920s and early 1930s, my mother's father, Squadron Leader J.D. Italia, graduated from the University of Birmingham, learned how to fly, and then joined the Royal Indian Air Force and served all the way until the end of the Second World War. My mother studied at the University of Birmingham in the 1950s. Her brother did his PhD at the University of Birmingham in the 1960s. And today, I'm Chancellor of the University of Birmingham. I studied at a British university, and now my own children, the 4th generation, have graduated from and are studying at British universities. So this is a generation-long link that is created. And of course, the world leaders that have come out from British universities is remarkable. There are more world leaders that have graduated from British universities than any other country in the world, along with the United States of America. And of course, in India's history, we've had so many of our prime ministers who have been educated in the UK, starting with Jawaharlal Nehru, Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, and of course Indira Gandhi studied at Oxford University as well. For me, this year, this time, is a watershed moment in the UK-India relationship, because India has just celebrated its 75th anniversary as a republic. It is an ancient country, but a very young country. And India, of course, is the largest democracy in the world by far. The UK, where I am here in Westminster, is seen as the mother of parliaments and of modern democracy. The living bridge that Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks about is all the more important at a time like this, at the time of the 75th anniversary of India's independence. But it is also a crucial time because we are now in the UK and India negotiating a free trade agreement between our two countries. We've gone through 6 phases of negotiations. We're about to start the 7th. But the fact is this, that India has just overtaken the United Kingdom to become the 5th largest economy in the world. The UK is the 6th largest economy in the world. Now this is tremendous. We have 2 countries, the 5th and 6th largest economy in the world, signing a free trade agreement. But here's the reality, that India-UK trade stands today in goods and services both ways at around £29 billion. That is nothing. It is a fraction of what it should be. In fact, India is only the 12th largest trading partner of the UK. We should be much higher than that. And I think a free trade agreement, a good, as comprehensive as possible free trade agreement, will help to greatly increase the level of trade, business, and investment between our two countries. Indian companies are already investing in a big way in the UK, and UK companies in India. We need to increase that investment. We need to increase the exports and imports in goods and services between both countries significantly, because the potential is enormous. We need to increase the movement of people. I've spoken about international students. We've now got a new scheme that will enable 3,000 young people between the ages of 18 and 13 to live and work in each other's countries, which is, again, wonderful news. Here's serendipity again in terms of the relevance to IBSA's 25th anniversary celebrations at this particular time. In the House of Lords, on the 19th of January, I flew in from a visit to India and spoke that very same day on an important debate on the relationship between the UK and India. It was an excellent debate, and I concluded the debate with the following, and I quote, "To conclude, as a boy, Narendra Modi sold tea at his father's tea stall at a railway station in Gujarat. Today, he is one of the most powerful people on this planet as Prime Minister of India. Today, India has the presidency of the G20. Today, India has a vision to become, in the next 25 years, the 2nd largest economy in the world, with a GDP of $32 trillion. The Indian Express has left the station. It is now the fastest train in the world, the fastest growing major economy in the world. The UK must be its closest and most trusted friend and partner in the decades ahead. And IBSA, the members of IBSA, the Indo-British Scholars Association, are in a privileged position to play a major, key, crucial role in the future of the UK-India relationship. Many congratulations to all of you. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.